Welcome back to another episode of the Alton Podcast. Today we're going to jump right into the topic and talk about the brand new Atari system coming to us next year.
Oh yes, the brand new Atari made by Sony. Its renders make it look like a freaking spaceship, and people are very upset about the new logo.
Which is the same logo.
Which is the exact same logo, but you just backspace the 4 and press the 5.
And the nice thing is, though, I do like one thing about this Atari-style system. I remember having the old Atari, man. It was the box. It just, you can play those great games, 2D, nothing fancy. But this, it's got some specs.
Dude.
It's got 5, maybe 6 USB ports there, 4 of which are 3.0. And it's got an optic drive, dude.
Okay.
That's a badass Atari.
Yeah, that's it's a great Atari. And what's crazy about it is that the more I look at this render, it actually looks retro.
It does.
I wonder if that's intentional.
It's gotta be, and I do like the PS4 was slick. It had the augments in the side, the corners.
Yeah. Very slatey, modern, clean.
Yeah, and then you have the Xbox One that came out that was kind of boxy.
Yeah.
So style points were definitely to Sony with that round. Yeah. But I gotta give it to Project Phoenix here. I do think their style is better, unless you like the retro, man.
Me personally, I like the clean modern stuff. Slatey stuff. This, even though it looks cool, assuming it's meant to actually look retro, I mean, it's cool. But appearance-wise, I would definitely choose the Xbox. But, I mean, that's not why you buy a console. But, if we were buying simply off looks, I would definitely get the Xbox.
Absolutely. And, why does it say, let's go digital?
Yeah, so that is, if I'm not mistaken, like a famous leak company.
Got it. So that's just a...
Yeah, it's Let's Go Digital is like the company that finds the leaks and posts about them. So I would imagine this is a Let's Go Digital render.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this console has a nice list of what looks like indicator lights. Blinky flashies, as I was taught.
Yeah, so many, actually. Like, way more than you would think. There's, 7? Is there 7 there?
I think there's 7 there. And, that's nice, because when the PS4, PS3 had a mistake, you get the error code, the beep code. And you'd sit there and have to Google it and have to figure out, okay, is it beeping every 2 seconds or 3 seconds?
Am I going to break void by taking off the top? Yeah, I got you.
All that shit. And now it's going to tell you exactly what's wrong. For the most part, with a 7 combination beep code system. That's pretty fantastic. I do like that.
I mean, you know how many codes you can fit into a 7 combination? A lot.
A lot. And there's no more flashing now. It's just going to be like, you have 1 light on, that's a bad thing.
Yeah.
If you have 4 lights on, you're screwed.
Yeah. Right. And if you have 7 lights on, just throw it away. Hit it with a bat.
Buy a new one.
Something,
Send it to Sony. Wait for a month, they'll get it back to you.
Right.
And I've always loved Sony. Even though, like, if I was still buying consoles, I would get a Sony. I would get this PlayStation 5. And because of the reason is, when I was younger and I had the PS3, I had that system forever. I mean, I probably had it for 3 years. I got it day 1 release.
Cool.
And I had it up until, like, 2 days before my 3-year warranty ended.
Oh.
And it failed.
Oh.
It crashed.
How about that?
Called Sony. They shipped me a box. I shipped it to them. Had to wait about a month and a half, 6 weeks, something like that.
No, that's a long time.
But, they gave me a call or letter or something. Somehow my dad found out. And I believe it was a letter. They sent a letter to us, and they said, hey, basically we can't fix this console.
Oof.
So here's a Target gift card to buy yourself a new one.
Oh.
The kicker was...
Oh, here we go.
They warrantied me for the original price of the PlayStation 3, which was $500.
Oh.
at the time of the gift card they gave me for Target, they gave me a $500 one because that's what I paid. But the PlayStation 3 was $300 on market price at that time.
Nice.
So Sony gave me an extra $200.
Awesome. And how many years before this was the PS4?
Ooh, this was probably a year before PS4 came out.
Interesting. Honestly, surprised you didn't wait.
I was an impatient little kid.
Fair enough. That's all I had to do. But yeah, I grew up primarily on PlayStation. My first console was an Xbox 360, but I only got the PlayStation because I didn't want to pay for Xbox Live. I mean, I was 10 years old. $5 a month is a lot of money when you're 10 years old.
It's like a small fortune, dude.
Yeah, literally. But, you know, that's the main reason why I asked for a PS3. And ever since the PS3, I have not bought a single Xbox.
Yeah, I haven't either. I bought an Xbox One because the house I was living with years ago, they all had Xboxes. They were giving me shit for not playing online with them, so I bought one used. Used it twice, never touched it again.
Got it. Yeah.
So it was a really waste of money.
Yeah, I only played single-player games and offline games on the Xbox, but the second I got a PlayStation, I was buying Call of Duty. I was buying, actually, I think it's just Call of Duty. Yeah, those are the days. Black Ops 2, 4 in the morning before school. Oh, man.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Come on now. Oh, yeah. Easy.
I easily ditched many days of school just to play that damn game.
Yeah. I mean, you know, some freaking TDM on Hijack, Nuketown. That was my stuff, boy. Let's go. And now we got Modern Warfare. But that's not what this podcast is about. So let's get into some more of the nitty-gritty details, okay? Let's get into some specs here. So for anyone listening, everything we're about to say was announced at CES 2020. So this information is relatively new. It'll only be about a day old when you view the podcast, listen to the podcast. One thing we didn't get was word-for-word specs. We only got kind of like a vague list, but I think it's a good enough list to where we can kind of, conceptualize what the actual list might be. So, to start off, custom 8-core AMD chipset, which, fun fact, is also going to be in the Xbox, the new Xbox. Maybe not the same 8-core chipset, but AMD is running both consoles, so I think that's worth noting. We have SSD storage. Let's go. Of course. Fast games. Gotta have it. Especially because Modern Warfare is freaking 150 gigs. You gotta have the speed, Backwards compatibility with PS4 games and PSVR hardware. That's very interesting. PS4 VR hardware is going to be compatible with the PS5. I think a lot of people are going to be happy about that. If I'm not mistaken, I think a new PSVR was vaguely announced. No specs on it, I don't think. But I think it was mentioned that there will be a new PSVR. There's 3D audio on the PS5. And I think one of the things that a lot of people are going to be interested in is the 8K TV support. What do you think about that, Austin?
The 8K is going to be good. I think a lot of people are now really getting the 4K TVs. So finally coming down to a price range most people can afford.
Dude, TVs are so cheap nowadays.
I know, but the 8Ks are still a little pricey.
Well, yeah, but you can get a 4K 52-inch for like $500.
Exactly.
That's crazy.
And then this can, of course, play in the 4K if it can play in the 8K. So that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Going back to the AMD chipset, this console is going to use the ray tracing.
Oh.
So the new graphics. What's great about that, especially for us PC gamers, is that once these console games start integrating the ray tracing, those console games come to PC with the same ray tracing.
Yes, sir. Let's go.
So we're going to start being able to utilize our graphics cards that have it. I got a 2070 in my rig. I can't wait to use it.
Oof.
And PlayStation's going to have them too. That's fantastic.
Yeah. And I think if they definitely release 8K games, that ray tracing is going to be absolutely insane to look at.
And they're going to have to. If they're doing 8K TV, they're going to have to start releasing 8K games.
Yeah. I mean, just naturally, right?
Yeah.
And like you said, 8K TVs are obviously on the market, but they're still in that questionable price range to where most people aren't going to go out and buy one quite yet for probably at least another, I would say, 2 years. Primarily because video content just isn't even that high. You want to know something interesting, Austin?
I would love to.
Did you know that most cable TV is only 720p?
Yep.
Disgusting.
Yep.
So yeah, I found that super interesting when, when I heard that for the first time. So the point I'm trying to make is, even 4K TVs are technically pushing it still, because other than certain streaming services and certain shows on those streaming services and video games, obviously, no one's in 4K yet. Not even maybe 1080p.
Yeah, you're right. And I had to retract a statement because I scrolled down a bit and missed something that I didn't read it the first time, apparently. So, PlayStation will not be coming out with 8K games on launch. I just saw a post here, or one of the paragraphs. Physical games for the PlayStation 5 will use 100 gigabyte optical discs inserted into an optical drive that doubles as a 4K Blu-ray player. So what's probably going to happen is 2 years down the road, they're going to release the PlayStation 5 Pro or something along those lines. It's going to have the 8K player.
Interesting. So you're saying, so specifically, the list I mentioned says 8K TV support. So maybe that means they have, HD and 4K games that can just be able to be upscaled to 8K.
Maybe.
Which is weird, because upscaling
Very
is
weird.
Upscaling.
It's very strange. I believe the PlayStation 4 or 3 did something very similar, where they had an original optical drive, and they upgraded that with the new model of the PlayStation. So using some same techniques, it's covering some other couple things. PlayStation Vita is going to have the 5G technology now.
Wait. Vitas are still being made?
Apparently.
Bro, what?
I didn't know that either.
Wait. I thought the Vita stopped being made when I was, 7.
Let's see here. So,
okay.
Remote Play is already available as part of the PS4 package, enabling you to stream a game direct from the console to a computer, smartphone, tablet, or PS Vita handheld console. Sony says that they're going forward. It will be leveraging the latest computing, streaming, cloud, and 5G technologies to allow it and the performance of PlayStation Now to improve. So by that paragraph, I would say they're still making the Vitas.
Interesting. Because I'm reading, an article here that says the PlayStation Vita was discontinued in 2018 and production officially stopped in 2019.
That's weird, because then why would they integrate that in the PS5?
I don't know, man. The world may never know. Maybe they're trying to compete with the Switch.
That's very bizarre.
I don't know.
I never bought a Vita. I never had any interest in that system.
Well, yeah, because when it first came out, you were poor.
I mean, even if I wasn't poor, I wouldn't have bought it.
So, I'm just looking at PlayStation's website here, and they still sell Vita games. So maybe they said they were going to discontinue it, then in the boardroom that same week, they were like, okay, wait a minute. We're going to roll this back, and we're going to create something awesome. But it is not listed under the hardware navigation, so I don't know.
That's so weird.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know. It's kind of a weak spot. There really isn't any information on it, so yeah. Yeah.
So on that note, we can go to something there is information on.
Right, like the PS5 price, okay?
The PS5 price. I love it.
There is no confirmation on this, but there is high speculation, with leaks included, that the console will most likely cost $499 in North America when it launches holiday 2020.
Which makes perfect sense because the PS3 came out at that exact price, the PS4 came out at that exact price.
Mm-hmm.
So it would just make sense to continue it at that price.
Yeah.
The last 3 consoles, to my knowledge, including this one, have all been $499. The PS3 was, the PS4 was on launch date, the PS5 will be. Give it a year or two after launch, they'll be $300. It seems to be the norm for all the consoles.
Especially when these Pro models come out like 3 to 6 months after.
Yeah. And when the Pro models come out, they're like $550, $549.
Yeah, probably more than that, honestly. This article is estimating another $200 to $300.
See, I don't know about that, because usually what seems to happen is they come out, the normal console drops in price, and then this console, the Pro picks it up.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know.
I don't know about that one.
The world
but
may never
we'll have
know.
to kind of, you never know exactly. They could get greedy like Apple.
Ooh. Ooh.
Ooh.
The shade. The
Yeah.
shade. Love me some apple shade, you know what I mean? Just you know, the apple tree burying over the mood, you know what I mean?
It's always there, man. And off tangent, my phone, my Galaxy S9 that I've had for 2 years now, just paid the damn thing off. Has been having some issues. Battery life problems, charging port issues.
Fun.
So I decided after fiddling it for about a month now, I figured I'd replace it.
Yeah.
And I got myself a Galaxy S10, or Note 10, sorry. Comes in tomorrow. Super excited.
Oh, yes.
But the family I'm staying with here,
oof,
all iPhone people.
They're all degenerates. That's what they are.
Apple.
They're all degenerates. Specifically Nathan, because he knows it's trash and he still bought it.
Right. And so Nathan's like, buy an iPhone. I said, no.
Right.
And he really wanted me to get an iPhone.
Yeah,
and you know,
right.
I have to give it to Apple. The one thing I'll give them is their watch.
Yeah.
Is better than the Galaxy Watch.
That bezel, though.
You know, the bezel I do like, because I like the standardized watch look that the Galaxy has.
Oh, okay.
But the Apple Watch just does it better.
Okay.
Their tech is better. I have to give it to them there. I give credit where it's due.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. You know, I mean, just in general, Apple, they got some good stuff. But, you know, just the way they go about some things is just, you know,
Yeah, it's not the best business models.
But yeah.
Or, you know, is it? They make money.
You know? It's so weird. It's like, can you even talk about them? Because they're literally like the most successful business of all time. It's crazy.
It is nuts. And then off of this, back on tangent here, let's talk about this controller that they're going to have coming out. Okay. So, I am staring at right now my PS4 controller in my hands. Okay.
Please do compare for the podcast.
Oh, absolutely. You know, I have to say the PS4 controller held out very well for me.
Same.
I don't think I had to replace one.
Same.
Since I've had the console. Both great. You can't tell everything from this Etch-a-Sketch picture we have in front of us. But it looks relatively the same. They moved the PlayStation button up a little bit, maybe. To add a little band that separates 2 ports on the front-facing part of the controller where the joysticks are.
Yeah. What do you think that band is for? Do you think it's just there to house something, kind of like a little door, or do you think it's actually going to be a feature?
I think it's like some kind of indicator light or band. I think it's going to be a feature.
Okay. Because
you know,
the part on top, the big rectangle, the touchpad part, that lights up.
Yeah.
At least the top part does.
And you know how it corners out?
corner's out. Yeah.
So you see that corner in the back? So the PS4 one, as you know, rolls down.
Right.
So what I'm thinking they did there is maybe they cornered that out and kind of pushed it down a little bit. But you know how the indicator light is in the back for the controller and it's kind of bright
right.
for the PS4s?
Yeah.
I think that band's going to be the indicator light in the middle.
Oh.
Right in your face.
Interesting. So I thought it was just going to be... I thought it was going to be like a motion sensor or something. But the more I look at it, it does look like the exact same shape as the lights on the PS4 controller on the back.
Yeah.
So I would not doubt it. But there's only one. There's only four, right?
Nah. There's only one on the PlayStation 4 controller. It's just a big diamond thing. Well, not diamond, but...
I don't know. I guess we'll see.
What is... Like a triangle. There we go. Triangle, not corners.
Yeah. Yeah, I got you. But yeah, another thing to see in holiday 2020.
Absolutely. Yeah. Other than that, though, I can't tell any differences besides maybe the start menu, like the share and the options button, which may get repurposed in this.
Yeah.
But it looks like they kind of go down. They kind of fold with the controller dimensions. I'm not sure if that is just a drawing thing and it doesn't do that or not.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Because this is a Japanese patent. Official Japanese patent from Sony, so I'm not sure. So technically, this should be, I don't want to say pixel per pixel, but, it should be to scale, is what I'm trying to say.
And the way it's sketched, though, makes it so hard to tell some things.
Yeah.
Like, if you look at the far bottom of the controller, you see that there's a little, just like the PS4, the R2, L2, it seems like it has a little bit of give still.
Yeah.
But not quite as much, I would think, as the extreme give you have in these 4s.
Right.
So, I can't tell.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's more images out there. This article specifically just only shows, the primary front-facing one that people are going to want to see. But, just in general, it seems like very minimal changes, if any, other than that little band in the middle.
So, with that, I think we've covered the major aspects of the upcoming console as far as we know right now through Tech Radar here. I have to mention that classic game, one of my favorite games on PS4, Last of Us, man. The Last of Us 1 and 2, impeccable. I'm taking your word. It's just that good.
Man, took my word.
Taking your word.
I'm okay with that because I've recently, as you guys might have heard, started to say the word incredible a lot.
So you've taken my word. No, mine's massive.
Yeah, yours, we're taking new words. It's a new year. We need a new word. How about that? Okay? Incredible is the new word. There you go. All right.
Incredible. Wow, he's getting off the impeccable. We'll see how long that lasts.
Yeah, I guess we'll see. Wow, what did you say last, Austin?
Wow. I was talking about the impeccable games.
The Last of Us. That's right. So, which console did you say? PS4, is that what you said?
Of course.
Yeah, so my favorite game off the PS4, excluding all multiplayer games like Call of Duty and, basic stuff like that, my choice is Horizon Zero Dawn. That game was incredible. Just the story and unique aspect, especially with the archery and stuff, was super interesting. It was like, sci-fi. It was like that post-apocalyptic / future / the people are still wearing deer skin is pretty cool.
So, I'm guessing you did hear the news then that they are predicting a Horizon Zero Dawn sequel on the PS5.
PS5 only? What do you think?
It just says that this article, we've also heard enough chatter around a Horizon Zero Dawn sequel and new God of War game that they assume will be landing on the PS5, as well as a new Last of Us and maybe some what's the word I'm looking for? Re-rendered Last of Us?
Yeah, like a remastered version.
Yeah.
Interesting. That's just a little odd to me. Why would you remaster something when it's backwards compatible?
Man, they remastered The Last of Us, the first one, I believe.
Yeah.
And it's sold. I bought it.
Okay. That much of a difference?
Oh, it was great.
Huh. Okay.
I mean, was it a big difference? No.
Yeah.
But I liked the game that much that I appreciated it.
Okay, that's fair. That's 100% fair. So while we're talking about games, I have to ask. I just have to ask.
Okay.
Favorite Atari game?
Oof.
I have mine. I just gotta hear yours.
Oof. Hold on.
Yeah.
So.
This one might take a minute. He's gotta Google search all the classics, you know?
No, I know exactly what it is.
Oh, yeah?
I just have to make sure I'm not mixing it up with something that's wrong.
Because it's been
because
so long.
Then I will feel like a dumbass.
Yes. So, I guess while you're double checking on that, I'll just say mine. My favorite.
I was right.
Pitfall.
Classic,
kind of, not dungeon crawler, but, it's kind of like Mario, but it's not. And I think that's also what intrigued me to start playing Mario a lot. But, just the classic 2D scroller left to right type of game. It's, up the ladders, down the ladders, down the pits, over the barrels, dude. Classic.
Yeah, and I don't recall if this game was an official Atari game. I'm trying to double check myself. Because this may have been one of the classic arcade games. Let me see here. Yeah, it looks like it was actually an arcade game, so rip my life.
Wow.
I was going to say Galaga.
Ooh.
I love that game, man.
That's a good one.
Give me 1 second here. Now I do have to search Atari games.
So there was a game similar to Galaga on it. I've played it.
I know what you're talking about, and I can't think of what the name is of it, though.
Yeah, it's like, there's like a Founders Edition, I think, of the Atari, and it has, like, pre-loaded games on it. That's how I played Pitfall. And, there was one like Galaga on it, so I'm sure that's it.
Yeah, I'm looking through a list here, and you know what? It's hard to look through lists like this because you find so many ads.
Oh.
And it's just death.
Wow.
Here, hold on. Here we go.
Ooh.
Here we go.
Galaga Atari Edition.
I don't know if we're going to cut this, guys, but just in case, I'm sorry for the wait.
Yeah, Austin sucks.
I was not prepared for this kind of question.
Wow.
As you know, we wing a lot of this stuff.
Wow.
Asteroids.
Asteroid.
How the hell did I forget about asteroids?
Dude, such a good one. I played
Such a good one.
I had my time in it. It was a good time.
But, you know what's a close second, man?
What?
Pong.
What?
I love me some Pong, dude.
Pong? Like ping pong, or?
Like the old Atari Pong, you had the white rectangle and the white rectangle, and they just went up and down with the white ball.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, good
Great
times,
shit.
dude. Good times. And then, the classic joystick controller and everything with the button on top. It's great. Good stuff.
Great.
Very good stuff. So, I mean, I think with that, I think that's the end, my dude. What do you think? You got anything else to add?
Not really. Just, thank you guys for watching our last episode. We did get a good amount of support on our YouTube and Anchor.
Yeah.
And that's great considering, we were MIA for, 3 weeks, 2 weeks?
It was something like that. Thank you,
yeah,
holidays.
we feel bad for that. We had a lot of family coming in, holidays, schedule problems.
It is what it is. And I'm sure they understand.
Oh, yeah, and we're getting better, as
Yeah.
time goes on with this. So
Yeah.
we won't be doing that again.
Nah. It's a promise. Austin just made you guys a promise. So if we break the promise, you guys can tweet at Austin and, chew him out.
Speaking of promises.
Oh, no. Here we go.
Guys.
Oh, no.
Tweet Colton about this Instagram.
I knew that was it. And while you're tweeting me about the Instagram, you can follow me on Twitter. You can follow the podcast on Twitter at Alton Podcast. And you can catch the podcast anywhere at altonpodcast.com, including all major streaming platforms and Discord. We have a Discord. Get in the Discord. Come say hi. We don't bite. Tell us topics you want to hear. Just talk to us. Maybe we'll throw your idea in the podcast. What do you think about
maybe
that?
Maybe we'll throw you in the podcast.
Yeah, maybe we'll throw you physically through the screen onto the audio file. How about that?
That might get us sued.
I mean, you know, liability, whatever. But, you know, in general, connect with us. We want to talk to you guys. We want you guys to be a part of this podcast. That's the whole point. We want everybody's voice to be heard, especially because, you know, me and Austin, we're centralists, and that's kind of how we run things.
Of course.
Yeah, podcast.
Yeah.
So, with that, I think we're going to wrap things up here, and we'll see you guys in the next podcast.
Thanks for listening.